Hey guys.
Good evening. How are you today?
Good, how are you?
Good. So far, I guess. Boy, it's cold out there. It's spitting snow for a few minutes.
Oh, really? I hadn't seen that.
You have a long day today, huh?
Yep.
Are you supposed to have a mask on?
Yes.
So I should go get mine out of my truck.
Yep, or I can get you one out of the nurse's office.
Go right here. Go to this one.
Yep, actually, is there a table right there? Let's put those right there. I think we got those up last time.
I wasn't sure. Kelly was supposed to have a birthday party today for Jack, but she canceled it.
Yeah.
You know, when in doubt, right?
Yep.
Are you a young lady?
There?
We've had both Moderna shots and a booster 2 weeks ago, so hopefully we're pretty well protected, but one never knows, I guess.
Right.
Now, are you sending out the agenda? Because I didn't see an email this time.
Oh. I thought the Kathy was gonna send it to everybody.
Because I don't think I got it last time either, and I had to
Yeah.
get it
Wow.
before that.
This is a huge crowd. Welcome, Barry.
Thank you.
You don't want to overwhelm me.
Okay,
I'll make
Justin.
sure I got to you next time.
Okay, poor Justin, he's not here tonight.
No, Justin?
Yeah, so we can spread out.
Very good.
Yeah,
Here.
I have not yet.
Nice to meet you.
I need to.
You got a couple of drinks.
I am out
You did?
straight. I
How's it
have
going
tried,
for 'em?
but
Doing
um,
both great
I
jobs.
haven't got a hold
I haven't found,
Great.
no, I did find a phone number for Luneco.
Oh, yeah.
Now I just need to,
Love teaching it, love.
I
being a
will
student.
try again tomorrow morning,
Sorry, Rhonda.
but yes.
My mother was a guidance counselor here for many years.
Oh, really?
Oh,
She
awesome.
retired.
Here, I can.
Yeah.
Are you moving or do you want to move? Because I can kind of,
There's three of us here, or two there.
All right. Do what you're doing before I sit down.
I was just gonna say, I can sit in the whole,
I'll sit on this. Can I sit in this chair?
sure, why not? There,
Okay.
here we are.
I'm gonna.
Okay.
Have myself.
Yes,
Oh, I wanna see that. Let's record it.
Yeah, yeah, I have a list.
You want me to come out?
If you want to do that,
Well, I can't come off.
but I'll try in the morning.
Okay,
And if I can't get a hold of, let me know.
okay, let me know, because then I will, but I just letting you do that one. and-
Okay, yeah.
That's important.
Oh. Okay, now I have 3 sets of things that I'm looking at.
The kids starting to get excited about Christmas. No, we gotta
Not
get
yet.
to Thanksgiving.
Let's see. Good.
It'd be so easy to go in the stores and see all the Christmas decorations up.
Oh, I
Can we
know.
At least be thankful.
It's not Thanksgiving yet.
That's what
I
I
can be
mean.
thankful for Christmas.
Well, yeah, okay, but I wanna be thankful for being thankful.
Right.
Okay. Ready to get
No,
started.
Halloween stuff was out in what, September or something?
Yeah.
August or something. August.
August, that's right.
I found some in August, like, okay. School hasn't even started yet, get Halloween stuff out.
Okay, I think.
Done?
Are we recording?
We are,
Are we all set?
we are,
Excellent.
yeah.
Okay, I call this meeting to order. Let's do the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
There. All right. Do we have any agenda adjustments? Seeing none. Okay. I need a motion to approve the minutes of the October 26th, 2021 meeting.
Seconded.
Okay, any discussion? Okay, let's vote. All in favor? Okay, Alan, did anybody sign up for public comment?
Don't think so.
I think somebody
I
might have.
didn't know I had to.
Oh, okay,
It's all right. Yes, we have first year.
yeah.
But also Barry.
Barry, would you sign up on the sheet for,
And then just give that to Danelle.
it can be for what?
Either.
Comment on agenda item. Okay, and before we do that. Thank you. Should I go over this? Or no? I think we need to tonight. Okay, yeah. Okay. All right. Not on the agenda. Okay, so you'll be up when that one comes up. Barry, you're up now.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
I just wanted to come down tonight to express a little bit of concern and some public opinion on the proposed quarry that's proposed for Sheep Mountain, which is right across the street on Route 11 by the Gorham Sand and Gravel. This proposed quarry is probably, in the 47 years I've lived in Sebago, has potentially the biggest impact on our community that anything has ever had in this town, and may for a very long time. So through the act of many people in the community from all over, not just the residents of East Sebago Village, we put together a pretty good coalition of people to combat and fight to have this quarry permit denied by the town, and to change our ordinances within the community to be more restrictive on this type of activity and businesses and whatnot that even comes into the town. So we have, through a petition, got the town of selectmen to call for a moratorium to be voted in at the special town meeting next Tuesday night at the town hall at 6 o'clock. This quarry directly impacts not only the village of East Sebago, but the school. It's approximately, according to GPS, 17 to 1,800 feet from the quarry to the school property, which puts about 30 homes in this community within that 1,700 foot range, and over 45 homes within 2,500 feet of it, including our landfill, which is a huge concern because the landfill is probably the biggest hazardous waste site in this whole area. And it's capped on the top by, according to the DEP, with loam and clay and all that, but it's capped on the bottom with the same ledge that runs through the whole East Sebago, up Long Hill, all of Sheep Mountain. And if that is fractured, then all of that pollution could very well leak into the watershed to Sebago Lake and everybody's wells. The problem is we don't know if that will happen because we haven't had any studies. We also haven't had studies on the dust, on any of the toxin created by the dust, the watershed, the vibrations, the noise levels, the impact to the whole community on property values. And according to the town assessor, who I had a very lengthy conversation with, Mike, at O'Donnell's, anybody that's within this 2,000 foot range of the quarry would go down one class of property, which this whole neighborhood is called a middle class property. It would all go to low class property. And we all know what low class property brings to your community. A lot more stuff than middle or high class. It also doesn't appreciate the way that normal properties would. So that means if somebody on that end of town might appreciate 20% on value at the next assessment, the people in this village who are now in low class will not access at all any higher or lower, which means in order to raise the same amount of tax base, everybody else in the whole town is going to have to pay more to make up for the loss down here. So it does dramatically impact the whole community, not just East Sebago Village. And it basically brings no value to the town. In other words, we're not going to get any more money for property taxes. We're not going to get rich on the quarry. It just brings a burden to the whole town. So there's a lot of things that haven't been brought up. There's a lot of things that haven't been surveyed or studied. I know at the planning board meeting this week, they did ask Gorham Sand and Gravel to come back with a few things, but it's really not very extensive. Doesn't drill down to what they really want to do. I've seen some explosions from quarries, and there's a half a mile high, mile long plume of dust, which would totally engulf East Sebago Village in the dust. So I wanted just to come in tonight, spend 5 minutes and express the people in the community's concerns of this quarry to the school board, and hope that you may do something to help us in our cause. writing something to the planning board or board of selectmen or both, expressing your concern as to how you feel this could impact the children and community here at the school. It's not something to be taken very lightly. It's a huge impact on our community. And we don't want a quarry in this town of that magnitude, and we certainly don't want one in a village zone. So that was really all I came down for tonight, is just to kind of speak briefly on that. If you're interested, we're having a rally down here in the corner Sunday from 12 to 3, and you can come down and support the No Quarry cause. Anybody have any questions? Going easy on me tonight.
I'm pretty well informed. I've chatted with you, so.
Right. Well, I'm surprised that no matter where you go in the community, people don't even know about it.
Right.
And as more and more people find out about it, they go, oh my God, there's a marsh up there that's going to have a road built through it. And all the runoff's going to go into the marsh, which goes into Stony Brook, which goes into the river, which goes into the lake.
Right.
Maine Eco Trust is very interested in it. There's vernal pools all over the side of the hill. I hunt up there. I know that.
Right.
My house happens to be about 1,000 feet from it. Hartley Shaw's is 500 feet from it. There's other houses 800 feet from it. It's like no regard for the people in the community that live by it. And every time they blast, they're going to come in and do a survey of your home to see if they cracked your foundation. I want someone every 6 months going to my house, video cam in my basement. And then if it does crack it, you got to fight with their insurance company to get a settlement. I don't know, it just doesn't make any sense. Wendy?
Have you talked to either Luneco Land Trust or Lakes Environmental Association?
I haven't personally, but I know people in the community have, and they're very concerned about this sort of thing.
Because they could be our advocates.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Right.
Okay.
So,
Okay. Does anybody in the room have any questions for Barry?
Does Portland Water know about?
according to Gorham Sand and Gravel, it's no issue with the Portland Water District. And I think one of the planning board members, Mr. Plummer, mentioned that at the meeting the other night, that he called the water district and there was no issues with the water district.
Huh.
According to him. I've called the guy 3 times with no call back.
And have they done a traffic flow of this corner where the kids?
Mm-mm. According to Gorham Sand and Gravel, their plan, and they said they want to be honest, is to take 100,000 yards of aggregate a year from this quarry. Well, I didn't do very well in math, sorry. But if you average 14 yards per dump truck, divided by 100,000, that's 7,000 dump trucks. Well, in order to bring 7,000 full ones out of the quarry, you got to bring 7,000 in, empty. That's 14,000 trucks. And they said they want to do most of it between November and May, which is when we have school. And they want to bring 14,000 dump trucks through our village or Route 11 every year. And we know it's going to get bigger. If they start selling 100,000 yards, next thing you know, they're going to want to do 200,000 yards. And there's no limit on how much they can take out of it.
Right.
So you have a question, Joe?
Well, the part of in all this that I get totally confused about is that I've actually participated in the comprehensive plan a number of years ago. And as part of that, we ended up creating districts. And as part of that, the assignment of the districts of what would be permitted is in the comprehensive plan. I just don't understand how we have any, the way of phrasing it is at the moment, we don't seem to have anything, well, we don't seem to have any restrictions anywhere.
Right.
Because
I think the town attorneys kind of said it right, that our ordinances are a little bit weak and vague. Although you have to look at what was the spirit of the ordinances and what their intentions was, and you know, done by good volunteers and people of the community who are not attorneys. did they really want to put a quarry in the middle of East Sebago Village? Probably not. Although the code enforcement officer seems to think that that was one of the wishes of the committee that put that together to bring businesses like this into the community. Well, not a quarry.
The comprehensive plan specifically states that we don't want any large scale businesses in the community.
Right. I think one of the biggest thing that I see, and I know Tina's on the planning board and I'm not pointing any fingers, but the planning board is operating, in my opinion, the way they're supposed to operate, the way their guidelines say they have to operate. So they're not doing anything wrong. They're not sliding stuff under the table. They're doing everything the way they're supposed to. The issue with that is we don't know what the planning board is thinking. So do we just sit back and say, well, the planning board is going to look at it like you just said, Joe, and we're not going to issue a permit because that's in the village and we don't want the quarries in the village? Or is the planning board going to say, well, geez, it seems to meet this, it seems to meet that, nobody's complained about it, so, oh yeah, we'll give them a permit. We don't know that. So we feel that we have to be very proactive and go after this tooth and nail to protect our community, irrespective of the planning board, because we're not getting any information from the planning board as to how they're feeling, whether or not they think it will pass or whether it won't. So we're not going to wait around. Hence was the petition and the special town meeting, because the citizens of the town, not that they don't trust the planning board, but we don't trust the planning board. We want to get it done without them saying no, because we don't know at this point what their feelings are. And if they could share with the community what's going on and work with the community and put us to ease, then all of this would be for nothing. But we can't sit back idle and hope that nobody does anything to refuse a permit.
Yeah, it's frightening that they would basically ignore the zoning characteristics that were put in the comprehensive plan. It's extremely frightening, because that could result in other areas of the town having, well, there's a fairly large new business in the town, which is the wedding. I'm trying to remember the name of it, the barn, okay? Those are people who've made a good investment and have basically made some very nice changes to the property. Basically, if their dump truck going by every so many minutes, that's gonna maybe destroy them.
Mhm.
Good point.
And there are other businesses.
Well, every house on Route 11 has got probably 15 or 20 feet of sand and then ledge. Every one of them. And all of our wells are right down the ledge. And as soon as they drop the water table in the quarry below the water table, or they drop the table down, everybody in East Sebago loses their water that doesn't have a drilled well. And I already got an estimate for $15,000 for a new well to replace my driven point. So it just impacts everybody in different ways.
And you may not be lucky. I mean, we've had an experience within the real estate market in which there's a gentleman bought a piece of property and he went out to get let's say a quote on the well, and going through granite, he wouldn't get any guarantees. And when you're talking about drilling a new well, there's no guarantee that it's going to work.
Right. And then it's not polluted with silica. It's the byproduct of the dust of the blasting of the ledge. Silica is the new radon. It's more hazardous than radon gas. And some ledge produces silica and some doesn't. Nobody knows if this project has silica in the core. We don't know, because you know why? There's been no study to show us that there isn't. So do we just say, well, it's probably not, and then 10 years from now, when half the people in town got cancer or can't drink the water, and the town has to bring in Portland Water District for, city water for everybody at millions and millions of dollars, because we let a quarry come in and now we can't drink the water. Who knows? Nobody knows this. And the planning board is not asking Gorham Sand and Gravel to produce any of this information. it's just like, okay, well, no one's questioning it, so everybody must like it. So anyway,
Well, going back to your thought processes, part of their business plan might be to say, gee, we got the permit from the town, so it must be okay with the town. And then go back to the state and ask the state to, shall we say, verify it. Instead of realizing that we're gonna fight.
right.
So thank you very much for all of the information and coming and
Oh, my
commenting
pleasure.
on that.
Glad I could be here tonight.
We do have on our agenda tonight an action item to adopt a resolution opposing the quarry.
Right. Well, I
So,
hope if you do adopt that, that you present it to the planning board chairman as well as the board of selectmen.
Good idea.
We've already discussed that we would publish it.
Great.
so thank you very
Thank
much.
you
And
for
if
your
anybody
patience
has
and your
any
time.
more questions, Barry is the lead on this opposition to the quarry. Feel free to contact him.
Yeah, I got done as fire chief because of politics, and now here I am.
Thank you, Barry.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
Thank
It's been a
you.
pleasure to be here.
Thank
The
you.
lights will turn on as you walk out their motion sensor.
Okay. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we are up to a presentation on,
Wasn't there a second public comment?
she is signed up under,
Non-agenda
not
items?
on the agenda.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. Who's doing the transportation? Ah,
Kirsten Goff, our Director of Transportation, is going to be doing the report on
excellent.
transportation.
All right. Okay, am I? Okay, you're in. Okay. We received our new bus.
We can get less books out for that. So
Okay. We received our new bus, which was purchased with the latest round of ESSER funds. The new bus allows us to have a 3-year cycle of when we need to purchase a new bus instead of having to get multiple buses at once. We have 3 full-size buses, a 2016 with 72,000 miles, a 2020 with 31,000 miles, and a 2021 with 2,000 miles. 1 minibus, a 2010 with 84,000 miles, and 2 vans, a 2018 with 60,000 miles and a 2020 with 12,000 miles. We have about 205 students and average about 130 kids on the bus runs each day. On the 9th, we had trouble with one of our buses during the afternoon bus run, not our brand new bus.
Mhm.
We were able to finish the middle high school run, but had to switch to our mini bus with a maximum capacity of 25 students for the elementary run. I put out a call to parents of that bus run, and many were able to come and pick up their child instead of waiting for the minibus to bring their child home. The number of parents who were able to get their child meant that only 1 trip was needed with the minibus.
good.
And I really appreciate the family's help.
Yeah.
Jeez.
That was good.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the transportation report.
Thank you, Kirsten.
I'll sit here for 2 seconds.
Principal's report.
Sure. All right, so our class was recognized by Maine Ag in the classroom, Maine Agriculture in the classroom, and was put on the first page of their November issue. The school was recognized for all the kids' work in the gardens and the felt shoes that the kids made over the course of the past few years. We had parent-teacher conferences. They went very well during the week of November 1st. We had a mix of in-person and virtual conferences depending on the parents' availability and comfort level. And we had a 93% participation rate. We will continue to attempt to make contact with the remaining families.
That's great.
Through Donors Choose, the kindergarten classroom was able to get a brand new rug so kids have their own spot to sit. They also recently received a bunch of special classroom supplies like letter learning activities and Play-Doh. The penny war is happening this week. All profits raised will benefit the children of Sebago who need a little extra help this holiday season through the Holly Jolly Helpers Fund. We will not be having an in-person holiday concert this year. There is just no way we can do it safely following the safety guidelines. Instead, Ms. Johnson and Mrs. Null will focus their efforts on a spring concert. Miss Johnson will practice holiday songs with chorus students and will upload a video to our webpage when it is ready.
Good.
We did not host an in-person Veterans Day celebration, but they were not forgotten. You may have noticed some stuff in the hallway. Our chorus sang a patriotic song, and a fifth grader who is a first-year band student, this is huge, recorded a song on her flute to honor our veterans. Those videos have been uploaded to the website.
Good.
I would like to, this is like the longest one I've ever had. I would like to thank our parent volunteers, Jill Irish, Jasmine Lab, Sharon Economides, and William Timothy for their help with manning the Scholastic Book Fair. Willow did almost all of the setup and takedown of the book fair too. We have completed the NWEA testing. At our staff meeting on November 10th, we began the process of reviewing our data so we know how to best support our students. The Northern Light canceled our flu clinic that we had scheduled for November 9th. Since they are unable to schedule another one until January, we recommended to parents that they reach out to their PCP if they still want their child to have one. At this time, we will not be hosting a COVID-19 vaccine clinic for newly eligible children. Again, we are asking parents to reach out to their PCP if they wish to obtain one. The COVID-19 vaccine requires a 15-minute wait time after the injection is given, which would be too disruptive to the learning process. The generator works. On Thursday, November 4th, the school and the surrounding neighborhoods lost power. However, thanks to our generator, we continue to have power to most of our school and we were able to open normally. On Friday, November 12th, the staff had their very own PJ day. It had been a long month between pool testing and quarantining kids and staff and progress reports and conferences. So it was their own little reward to have a comfortable Friday.
Nice.
An update to pool testing. We went 3 whole weeks without a positive pool. And then today happened. We had 2 positive pools. We were able to isolate the positive case in one class, but not the other class. This means that tomorrow we will test all the kids in that class again. If we find a positive student, we will send that child home and the rest of the class will have to quarantine outside of school. If we do not find a positive student, based on the latest information we have, we will continue as if it was a negative pool, basically treat it like a false positive. And also due to the holiday next week, there'll be no pool testing. So the next time we will test is November 29th. On a happier note, David and I visited with the 5th grade classroom today to share a little bit about our family histories. The 5th graders are starting a family history research project, and we're both able to do a lot of research. Through a lot of research, we have found our families go back quite far. So we were able to share some of that with the kids, which was pretty fun.
I bet they were excited about that.
Yep, they are.
Yeah.
There was a lot, they'd already started thinking about a lot of it, so it was
Yeah.
pretty cool. So, that's all I have.
Wow.
Thank you. I do not have a report. No, I don't have a report. Oh, possibly we will share dates of negotiation meetings.
I've got it in mind if you don't want to do it.
All right, we can cover it. No,
All right.
no chairwoman's report, but we're doing a superintendent's report.
And this is the shortest one I've had yet, just to compensate for Kirsten's. First is really an kind of informational item. I have a draft of my entry plan that I would ask committee members to take a look at and get back to me with questions and comments. I would like to present this in December. And I want you to have eyes on beforehand so I can add or address concerns and questions. So, thank you.
Yeah.
And this is the ever-present staffing update. We are still short-staffed as we've been every day since July 1st when I stepped into my current role. At this point, we're still looking for a bus or van driver. We have our fingers crossed that we might have progress in that opening. We are looking for a part-time special education teacher. We have grant money to pay for that this year. We just have not been able to attract qualified candidates. And we have 2 ed tech openings as well. So they're posted. We encourage everybody who can hear my voice now to consider it. Think about all the extra money you'll have for future holidays, and we're a great place to work. The school committee has worked with our representatives from the teachers, ed tech, and non-teaching staff collective bargaining units to identify 4 days where we'll be negotiating. Those days are December 9th and 16th, January 13th and 20th. We look forward to approaching this in a really collaborative way and hope to have the contracts finished up certainly before the end of the school year, but ideally before that. So Branda, thank you. And Danelle and Joe, thank you for being part of that. And we'll get going next month. And this is the big news. So SPICE and the PTC have teamed up to do 2 things. The first is, as I mentioned in the previous report, they have designed their first enrichment program for our students. It will take place after school. We'll get the dates out to everybody. And kids will be making lanterns. I'm looking at Wendy because she might provide detail after I finish. After the lanterns are finished on December 19th at 4 p.m., we're going to do the first of what we hope is an annual tradition of a lantern parade on school grounds. The community is invited to participate. We are hoping for warm refreshments, possibly some sweet treats. And the students will be sharing their lanterns that they've made in that enrichment program. Wendy, how'd I do?
You did great. But I have,
I knew there was a but.
but it's not gonna be after school.
It's going to be,
During school, during art class with Brenda. She's agreed to help us do that. That way we can reach every student. And we're gonna be sending home a flyer, I believe, on the 23rd of November before Thanksgiving to tell all the parents about this so that then the parents can make lanterns or siblings, and then it could be more of a community-wide event. So anybody who wants to participate is welcome. And
great.
no fire. It's only battery-powered voters.
I was advocating for live flames
I
in
know
the
you
lanterns.
Wendy, what's the date of the parade?
The 19th,
December 19th at 4.
yes.
Thank you.
Yeah,
That's
I
my
have a
report.
question.
That's your
Is
report.
there,
I have a question,
Questions?
David.
Yep, go right ahead, Tia.
With the shortages on staff, how is the staff holding up?
well, there are better people here to answer that
Well, I
than
Didn't want to put them on the spot.
me. Honestly, we are, I'll give you the overview, but I welcome Branda, Cassie, or Chris, or Kirsten to add on. So we are concerned first and foremost about the health and safety of our students. We are confident that we're able to provide that. We are then looking at our legal requirements to provide specialized educational support through students' IEPs. We're doing our best. I have not seen a lot of smiles on our special education staff recently. They're working hard and they're short-staffed. The constant shuffling of schedules and
scrambling to do what's most important in this minute, knowing that you're then not doing two other things has been really challenging. And we already have had an incident where, we couldn't make a bus run and we didn't have somebody else to just go get another bus. So it's not easy. I'm confident that the teachers in each of our classrooms brings their best and most supportive self to school every day. And our kids might not notice. But I know you asked about the staff.
How you holding up?
I am a nurse, I am a van driver, and I am the trash lady at the cafeteria. So I am taking on quite a few roles.
Thank
Additional compensation for that?
I think also because of pool testing now,
Yeah,
I started here as pretty much part-time,
Yeah.
4 hours a week, 4 hours a day
Mhm.
person.
Mhm.
And I left here at 5 today, 4:35, so. And I start at 7:30.
Wow.
need we take a look at something like that?
We have been able, I'm looking at Kirsten, I think this is true. People are being compensated for the jobs they're doing.
Okay,
Yeah, no, I pay her to be, it's on a separate time sheet, but she,
Yeah.
nursing time's on
Yeah.
one, her van driver time is on another one.
And part of it's about compensation, part of it's about what does that day look like?
yeah, I mean, how much
To
more can
Chris.
you do?
Like on a day like today, where we have 2 positive pools,
You get your hands full in your pants to hold up.
yeah, it's
Excuse me, I'm sorry.
You don't understand it though, don't you?
But no, when we saw the 2 positive pools this morning, the first thing I said, well, there goes my morning,
Sure.
because
Yeah.
that's now gonna be the focus.
Right.
Making sure everybody gets taken care of, and that's what, and we do that together,
Mhm.
so that I can help her with that and alleviate some of that burden as possible.
And then in the cafeteria, the hour that I'm on is also if I have a skin knee or a typical
Yeah.
playground or something, stomachache, you cover, or if you have something, it's like, they're supposed to be, one person all the time, but it's like, okay, I'm leaving, I'm coming, I'm leaving, I'm coming.
Right.
It's,
There are still adults in there. It's
Yeah,
just,
You're covering it.
right,
Yeah.
yeah. It's just, it's not as ideal as we would like,
Yeah.
for sure.
Right.
How your regular classroom teachers holding up? Be
Better,
honest.
better.
Good.
There was a dark time for me for a while. I mean, we have to be in our classrooms, so I don't think we feel it as much as someone who has a more flexible role, but for me, it was the remote learning, teaching the remote kids, teaching the in-person kids, and trying to make it worthwhile for all of them.
Yeah. I can't imagine how you do it.
It was a lot. It was
I
a lot.
really
I mean,
cannot
it is a
imagine how
lot,
you do
but
it.
my class has a lot of pool testers. And I got a rhythm now, but it, like everything since COVID has started, it's learning trial by fire, I have a rhythm at least now, of kind of a
Yeah.
plan for when I know somebody has to quarantine. And now I only have 2 in quarantine right now.
Your new motto is bring it on?
Bring it on. I will say though that our administrators, David and Kirsten, they heard us and they knew that we were struggling. And so they, I think, have really stepped up to make this place, bring that morale up.
Yep.
And so we've noticed and we've appreciated the pajama days and the good life days and,
Yeah.
you know, the little extras that we've been getting.
You can come in and say, I can do it another day. Yep.
Thank
You
goodness.
feel the same way?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're all wearing many hats. I mean, I run around and change paper towels dispensers as needed and because,
I wondered who was doing that. Thank you, Red.
well, Harvard Stat 61 in my early teaching days, I did custodial work in the summer, so I can do some of those things. So I run around changing paper towels as necessary and, you know, you carry paper to copy machines and the classroom is, you know, it's crazy as it is. And there's that added pressure that you feel that, oh, who's going out next and what do I need to do? And I've got my quarantine packs all ready to go. And it just feels like a lot of extra
There is.
pressure and it's more stressful this year than last year.
Yeah.
Because the remote kids and those kids were taken care of on a regular basis and we didn't have to,
Right.
Yeah.
we didn't have to worry about how we're gonna provide for
Yes.
them. They were taken care of.
Right.
This year is extra.
Those release Wednesdays that we gave you last year, did those come into play this year where you had the chance to practice and get to know it all? And now you're doing both and did it help any?
They helped last
They
year.
were big out last year.
Yeah.
This year, I would love to have those back. If for nothing else, again, like I said last year, when, you know, I was all about those early release days, these are hard to wear. And a lot of people say like, oh, but medical professionals do it all day or, you know, whatever. But they're not trying to get 18 rather inattentive little bodies to listen to them. And it is a whole other feeling, you know, when you're trying to do it all day, every day.
Yeah.
With this on. So if nothing else, I miss that Wednesday time of just taking this off for an extended amount of time, you know, and doing some work in my classroom.
I could add to that, you know, one thing that we had last year is our entire year, we had 3 kids. And that tested positive. This year, we've already had 6. And the domino effect and all the kids, and not that we've caught through pool testing,
I think 11.
but there's multiple kids that we know of outside that have also tested positive. Soccer was a whole animal and there were kids going in and out a lot. And that was something that we didn't experience last year. So that's been very stressful for a lot of us and keeping track of who's where and when.
Wendy?
Here's a question, and maybe it's totally naive of me to even ask, but would it be of any help at all if you had a few volunteers from the community that could come in and help on a certain day, like, you know, specific times, so it's not just someone just kind of hanging around, but, you know, like come up with a volunteer, no money, just out of the goodness of their heart to come in 1 or 2 days a week to help with some of that extraneous stuff that it's just one more thing that you have to do. I know that they can't teach necessarily, but what could something like that be done? And I think that there are people around that would be very happy to come and help. So,
I did actually have a woman come yesterday. I met with her, gave her a tour of the building, and she's gonna come a couple of days a week and she's gonna help with lunch duty.
okay.
Nice. Nice.
Yay. So as soon as I get her background check through, she'll be able to come in and she's, you know, offered a couple of hours a week to us.
Great.
We have somebody who comes a couple of days a week to help with the walking club, which allows our teachers to really focus on, you know, recess activities. So, yes, no, the middle of the day would be an awesome thing to have a couple of people to help out in the cafeteria, help out at recess, extra adults out there, extra set of eyes, very, very helpful.
So I could tell Spice and
Sure.
the PTC, I mean, that's just one avenue, but just because I think that people don't necessarily know this, until, I'm glad you asked this question, because it's a good eye opener to us. And so we can do anything we can to help. That's what we're here for too.
Right. It would, and if we could get people to help out with recess on a regular basis, then that could be, somebody who could say, all right, I've got your duty today. And I know that that's something that is a surprise to a teacher once in a while, when I'm able to get out there and say, I've got your recess duty today.
It's a big deal.
Yeah.
There's no, I mean, an elementary teacher does not have a minute to themselves from the time they walk into this building until they walk out. And they got a briefcase with them probably with stuff to correct. So, the truth be told. So anything, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, and there's a person in our community, June Johnson, who has, she calls it a vet call. And she can put out an email to hundreds of people and for volunteer purposes. And so, we can let her know too. And I just think that it needs to be people, if once people hear the call, then you'll probably have more people stepping up. So that would be nice. Okay.
Okay, good conversation.
That's the end of the superintendent's report.
Okay.
Interactive today.
Wow, awesome. So we're up to action items. And this piece of paper here. So we worked on drafting a resolution opposing the proposed quarry that Barry was speaking about. And I'm going to read what we came up with. And I thank Joe for doing the initial draft. That was very helpful. Whereas the Sebago School Committee is very concerned regarding the proposal to permit a quarry approximately a quarter mile from our school. The projected traffic of 40 to 45 trucks a day would be a considerable increase in heavy trucking activity. The additional traffic is a threat to the parents, teachers, and children using our school. Whereas the dust and noise, blasting and vibrations would interrupt the educational activities at the school, it could frighten some of our students. Being so close, blasting could impact the water quality of our school's well and possibly compromise the integrity of the building and foundation. Whereas the school, nearby homes, and the parcel for the proposed quarry are in a village district, the town's comprehensive plan for the village district intent is to restrict incompatible uses which generate traffic and noise greater than that associated with residential neighborhoods. Be it resolved, the Sebago School Committee recognizes the intent of the comprehensive plan, which should be followed, and supports all efforts to maintain our quality of life by blocking the quarry use of land in a village district. So I need a motion to adopt the resolution regarding a permit for the proposed quarry and to post the adopted resolution.
So moved.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Tina?
At this time, I'd like to recuse myself
Okay.
from the vote, please.
Yeah, thank you. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Okay, it's a vote. All right. So, who am I giving this to? What did we decide?
You're giving it to me. It will seem like I did the work, but Kathy Garish will make sure it is as you said.
Okay, and then we'll get copies
got it,
to
yeah.
post.
I got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
We need it.
Okay.
Change it.
Yep.
All righty. Okay, so then I need a motion to accept first reads on, are we including number 3 or no?
Yes.
Yes. So first reads on job descriptions: 1, principal; 2, teacher; 3, special education teacher. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you. Second. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Okay. Okay, do we have any items for future agendas?
Just the entry plan of the superintendent.
Okay, I'm gonna write that down for next meeting. Okay. Is there anything else we need to revisit?
Don't think
We're good.
so.
Okay,
I think we're good.
okay,
When we do the second reads on those,
we'll do the second reads,
Okay.
but that'll be,
okay.
yeah, under action items. Okay, so we are up to public comments on non-agenda items. So Chris, you're up.
On non-agenda items, it's been talked about in the principal's report, but I'd like to reconsider. I know by the administration, it has been declined, but to have a COVID vaccine clinic at the school. We were to have a flu clinic on the 9th. The COVID vaccine was approved by the FDA. The New England Northern Lights switched our clinic to a COVID clinic vaccine. We declined. And I said that we might reconsider a flu clinic. I really feel that this town should consider having a pediatric flu clinic at the school. I did some quick work and I found out there is a total of 85 schools in Cumberland County. 51 of them are having a COVID vaccine clinic for their children. There's 14 school districts. Most every other school district is having a vaccine clinic. We are not. We do not have a hospital. We do not have a doctor's office in this town. We have children who are being raised by their grandparents. And as you see, we have pool testing, we have positives to me coming out the yin yang. But let's give them, I don't care if only 5 kids come, to have the opportunity to have a clinic here. There was some concerns about liability. Northern Lights will take care. We just hosted. Northern Lights or Old Fashioned Mercy would take care of that part. There is a concern about it that they have to wait the 15 minutes. They can go back to their classroom and wait the 15 minutes. When you have a vaccine at a Walmart or Walgreens, they want you to walk around the store for 15 minutes. If any kid had an anaphylactic, we have the EpiPens right here. We could be faster than there's a person down in aisle 4.
Right.
So I feel that I don't know where to go. I think I go to the school board next to request us proceed in looking into a COVID vaccine clinic for the school.
Go ahead.
Well, I guess after listening to all the problems, well, not problems, but the issues with pool testing and the quarantine, wouldn't this drastically reduce that problem? If we had a clinic here, it would get kids vaccinated that might not otherwise get vaccinated because their parents may not get around to it. And it could really actually help the whole of the school so that the kids aren't, we're not having the trouble that we're having now. And it might be better for all concerned.
There's already discussion at the CDC on when we have children vaccinated. All vaccinated children might not have to wear masks anymore.
Well, that would be,
When we have vaccinated children, you might not have to have as long a quarantine file,
right.
might go down. there's all these things that are coming, but we won't even be in line because our children, the students will not have the vaccine available to them, like so many other school districts in Cumberland County do.
Can we consider it? Can we
We need to
consider
talk about it.
Can we?
We can
about
talk
it?
about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can talk about it. It occurs to me that maybe the town should be hosting a vaccine
Helen
clinic.
brought a referendum up to the town for the booster shot, and the selectmen declined it.
Did they give a reason?
You have to ask Helen.
Okay,
But schools are traditionally doing it. And this is the place where kids are. So if kids come into the school on a daily basis, then the opportunity for them to get a COVID vaccine is much higher than if the town was hosting it at a separate location. If you want to.
I mean, it could be hosted here. The town does own this building
Right,
and
but
property.
the school can do it because what does it matter?
I mean, I was thinking
For-
combination.
Oh, booster and.
No, I'm thinking combination town and school.
Oh.
That was
I
the
know
thought that
Maine
crossed my
DOE
mind.
has a contact person to facilitate the pediatric COVID. I don't know. I could ask, I don't even know if the school district would allow adults right now to be in the school to get boosters.
I wasn't talking about
No,
adults, I'm
but-
talking about children.
But I just think it's kind of an already set up type of thing. Schools are doing it, and if we could, as a school board, or we could decide whether we would do something like that in our school. That would be up to us. Is that correct?
I think I'd like to talk as a board with our administrators.
Uh-huh.
before
I
making
was
any
just
decision.
thinking that,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I
I think
agree.
that's important to respect.
Can I just
But
ask
he-
you a question? Are most school districts doing the clinic during school hours? Because I know my children's school district did it on a Saturday.
I only had an hour between when I left here. All I looked at is how many schools had it. And Googled how many schools were in Cumberland County. I didn't look at when they were having it.
And-
That's a great idea. And we can add that to the pool of information.
Yes, absolutely.
And I also Chris, I really appreciate that. And it was my direction to not be one of the first districts to host the clinics. I shared an update with you that I would be more comfortable knowing other districts, how it was handled, what the logistics looked like, and feedback. Cumberland County Superintendents are meeting tomorrow to discuss COVID protocols. I think I tried to communicate clearly to you and Chris, to you. I am as pro-vaccine as anybody. I'm also cautious as a school administrator. I just want to see how it's handled so I can give the best guidance around that. So I completely appreciate it. I don't think you and I share different goals. And, we are meeting with the superintendents tomorrow. There are a lot of questions and each district is handling it differently. I will bring back the best information and give the best guidance I can going forward.
The only thing that pops into my mind is that being somewhat short-staffed during the school day, I'm wondering if that would be the best time to be doing this. I'm thinking maybe either after school on a school day or on a Saturday. Yeah.
Because I know in the past flu clinics, they kind of set up in my isolation room and we brought the kids down from each class, a group at a time and then they just, brought them in and we sent them back. And I know that we were able to do that for the vision clinic this this year we had the Lions Club come in and do the vision.
Mhm.
And to me, I thought it would probably be the same pattern that we've had for our food clinics in the past and for the same amount of people as we've had for our vision screenings, which we had just last week, 2 weeks ago. Last week, the 9th.
Okay.
Scheduled vision clinic for the.
Yeah, I think working through something so you can get that opportunity, I think it's a good idea. As I recall, my polio shot was at school.
Yeah.
Kirsten wants to say something.
I'm sorry, yes.
I appreciate the logistics of what we have done in the past for food clinics and what we have done for the vision clinics. This is a newer vaccine. I know it has been out for a while, but it is newer. It is newer for our kids, and it is something that they have asked us to watch a child for 15 minutes afterwards. You mentioned we're short-staffed. We have one teacher in a classroom. And if you have multiple kids going into having a shot and they've come back to a classroom, I can tell you from experience of what happened just today, we had a student who had an issue and she was sitting there suffering silently. And thankfully, the teacher was able to make eye contact with her because a different presenter was in the room talking versus herself trying to teach to 18. So that would be my biggest concern, not just as a building principal, but as a parent. So if we were to host something, I would be in support of doing it after school when parents are bringing their kids here, on a Saturday where parents are bringing their kids here, because they're going to be focused on their child and keeping their eyes on their child and watching them. But I would struggle with that. I'd be a nervous wreck.
It sounds like there are many different aspects that need to be ironed out.
With a shared goal.
Right. The
And-
goal is that we would love to have everybody be safe from COVID, not have to be masked in school.
Right.
That's the goal.
Mhm.
And I think everybody has that as a goal. That would be good.
Agreed. So let us continue to look at logistics. Let's look at some of the districts that started earlier than us and their experience and what they've learned. And we will, I don't think it's a board decision.
No,
I
No, I
mean,
don't think it is.
so we will go forward, and in a very timely way.
Okay. Is that,
Sure. I just thought, because I brought it to the principal, then we brought it to the superintendent. I thought that the chain of command, the next step was to bring it to the board.
That's fine.
well, and we can put that on,
I'd
well,
like to have that, discuss it as board.
let's put that on our next
but ultimately. it's
agenda as a
David's decision.
discussion. It is, it falls under the administration's purview. Yep.
Revisiting the reopening plan in December
Okay.
is an appropriate way to do that.
Revisit.
Liability.
Oh.
the vaccination.
Do vaccine.
No, I mean,
Okay, there.
Great.
Okay, so we will be revisiting that at our next meeting.
Okay.
And in the meantime, David will be in touch with all of us and let us know what he's heard from other superintendents and what other schools are doing and how they're handling it.
Great.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, information items, future meetings, So we have changed our December meeting from the 14th to the 21st. And we'll have the same workshop at 5:30, and then the meeting will be at 6:30. And then in January, we're meeting on the 26th, workshop at 5:30, meeting at 6:30. Oh, I missed that one. We doing that? Okay. Nope, apparently not.
Nope.
Okay, all righty. So that brings us to the end of the meeting. I need a motion to adjourn.
So
Are we gonna have the executive session?
I don't think so, Joe.
Okay.
Okay, so Wendy has made the motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. So we did those.